The economies of Latin America and the Caribbean have been hit particularly hard by the COVID-19 pandemic. So any grain of good news is welcome when grim new statistics are announced.
Hace que nuestras cifras son negativas.
Our figures are negative, all negative. It doesn't mean that we are much better off than we were in July, but the drops are a little lower than forecast.
Those statistics still translate into tens of thousands of businesses closing, growing unemployment, poverty and homelessness. But if it's bad in Latin America, it's even worse in Argentina. The economy here shrinking by 10% in the third quarter of 2020. Workers and social organisations have already taken to the streets. On Thursday alone, we covered 2 demonstrations within walking distance of the Al Jazeera office.
What we'd like is health to be a priority, especially in this pandemic year, and this in a country where 50% of children are poor and need public hospitals. It would be an increase to make the health system work.
Along with the peso hitting an all-time low against the US dollar, it's inflation that bites into workers' wages. Argentina has one of the worst rates in the world, more than 30% this year, forecast to be even higher next year.
We've been saying on all our marches, when the workers lose through inflation, it's not because that money is disappearing. It's because someone is profiting with what should be ours and the rest of the workers.
President Alberto Fernandez took office just weeks before the pandemic arrived. He said from the start it put the nation's health before the economy. But with the Russian Sputnik 5 vaccine due to arrive here next week, the economy hasn't gone away. Protests like this, noisy and colourful, are a regular feature of everyday life in Argentina. But with the COVID-19 pandemic having hit the country particularly hard, they're only likely to increase in size and intensity. The question is always where the money's going to come from. Argentina is one of the world's leading grain producers, but the industry has been paralysed as a strike by workers demanding a wage increase enters its second week. Part of a growing demand from workers across Argentina and the rest of Latin America. They don't want to emerge from the pandemic worse off than they went into it. Ben Schweimler, Al Jazeera, Buenos Aires.